What's up, guys? Welcome to Finecraft Woodworks. So today I'm wanting to make a quick video and kind of share my story of getting into 3D printing and why I love printing. There's a new campaign that Bambu Studios is doing, and they're just wanting everyone to share their story. So I'm going to share mine. Honestly, as a kid, I've always thought 3D printing is really cool. I've always admired it. I've always loved building things. That being said, printers were very expensive for a long period of time, and that just wasn't really into the cards for me. And as I've gone through life, more and more of my friends, started to get printers, started to tell me how cool it was. A couple years ago, my brother got a printer as well, and so that kind of was like, okay, if he's having a bunch of fun with this, I really don't want to miss out. And so I took the plunge and I got a Anycubic Cobra. Now, before I go any more, I'm not trying to shame or villainize any companies. I'm just stating my experience. Even though I might have had a bad experience, that doesn't mean the company is bad or anything. I'm just telling you what happened. So anyways, I got an Anycubic Cobra. I believe it was the first one. I paid, I think, in the neighborhood of $300 for it. And at first, it actually worked pretty good. It was a pretty good experience to start with. It was a very slow 3D printer, though I didn't really know that at the time until later on. I'll get there. I had a good experience with the printer up until about the 4-week mark. What happened was I was doing a long print. I was trying to do like an overnight print. I think it was like 24 hours or something. And partway through it stopped printing and I got some really weird error. Had no idea what was going on. Started going through Reddit and the forums and stuff like that. And I thought it might have been, I think it was like the heat sensor on it. And so I ordered that replacement part. I replaced that. That didn't do the trick. And I did some more diving and it turns out someone else was having the exact same issue, and it turns out it was the motherboard. The guy had to contact Anycubic. They sent him a replacement motherboard. He said he had to wait like a month or two for it, but eventually got it, and it was up and working again. And I was like, I really don't want to go through the process of having to wait a couple months for maybe this fix will work, maybe it won't, because, I wasn't 100% sure if his problem was the same that I was having. So I was thankfully still within that window of I could return the product, and so I said, hey, this is defective, something's going on, and I did get my money back, which I was very grateful for. So I was a little discouraged after that, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot, and so I did some more research, and Elegoo, they just came out with their Neptune 4, which at the time, that was their latest and greatest machine, had just come out with it. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the plunge, I'm going to get this guy, and it was around the same price tag, I think $350, somewhere around there. So I bought that machine, set it up. Their instructions said to download Elegoo's version of Cura. So Cura is the slicing software, and so I did that. And the first problem I ran into is it wouldn't open on my Mac. And I had no idea why. It just wouldn't open. I think it was getting some error or something. I'm not sure, but I did some diving on Reddit, and it turns out that the fix was you had to go into the command terminal of your Mac and input a line of code, and that would allow you to be able to open the program. I'm not a coder. I had no idea what I was doing, but at this point I was frustrated. I was like, I just want this stupid thing to work. And so I did that, and it worked. I was able to open up the program. I actually sent customer support a message basically stating the problem and the solution to that, and they said they were going to look into that, so hopefully they have that fixed for you guys. But once I got into the program, there's an area that says, please select what printer you have, and there's Elegoo Neptune 3, 3 Plus, or whatever the other versions of the 3 they have. There wasn't the Neptune 4, and I'm like, what the heck? I just bought this new printer, and their guys' slicer doesn't even support this new printer. They don't even have the presets. I think what it was is, I think even though they had the physical machine ready to be released, I don't think they had the software side of it ready to go yet. I think they should have waited a little bit, but whatever. So again, I went back to Reddit. I found some presets that people were using that kind of worked, and And honestly, out of the gate, I was having trouble with it. It just wasn't printing right. I was having various issues, and doing my best on Reddit and different forums to try to fix it and figure out what was going on. And I was just having trouble. I feel like it all came down to, while the bones in the machine might be good, I think Elegoo's software side wasn't ready for it. And so after a couple weeks of frustration and still couldn't get it to work right, I was like, screw this, I'm sending it back. And I think part of it comes down to, at least for me, my mentality is, if I spend a bunch of money on a machine, I want it to work. Like, I want it to work out of the box. I don't want to have to spend too much time fiddling with it. Understand that with any machine, you might have to mess with it a little bit, but by and large, I want it just to work. I don't want to have to fiddle with it. So after those two printers, I was like, screw this. I'm done. I'm done with printers. No more printing for me. And I stayed out of printers for probably about a year or so. I had heard of Bambu at that time, Bambu Labs. I think then they had their, X1 Carbon, P1P, P1S. Those were all expensive printers, and I was like, yeah, that's out of the budget for me. They eventually came out with their A1, which I thought was kind of cool. But again, I didn't look too much into it because I was very hesitant to get back into the realm of printing. That being said, there's still a small part of me that kind of wanted to. I love building things. I'm a woodworker. I love just making different stuff. And what eventually pushed me to pull the trigger is, I have a friend, he got a P1S, Bambu P1S with their AMS, and he absolutely loved it. He was telling me, he was like, Blake, this thing works great. It works out of the box. You don't have to mess with it. Like, you should totally get one. And so did some more research, and the Bambu A1 was really kind of calling to me. It looks like a good printer, very affordable. At the time, they were having that Black Friday sale as well. So I took the plunge, and I got the A1 combo, so it came with the AMS Lite. And out of the box, so much better. The instructions were really good. Probably spent about an hour setting it up. That's more time than it takes. I was just taking my time to be careful. And I noticed that, when you set it up and you turn it on, you do the whole initial calibration to begin with. For the Anycubic Cobra, I think it had 16-point bed leveling. For the Neptune 4, I think it was 25, which I thought was a lot. Bambu, it's 21 squared, so I think that's 441 points. Yeah, that's a lot. And that blew my mind. I was like, whoa, this is a really good machine. This is way better than anything I had for roughly the same price tag, which is pretty cool. The A1 also has the noise canceling feature, which I was really blown away by that too. And it also has the vibration compensation. So it'll vibrate and measure that, and then the computer will somehow compensate. Also has a built-in camera, which none of my other printers had that, and multicolor printing. And yeah, out of the box, I printed a Benchy, and it worked perfectly. Here, let me get that closer for the camera so you guys can see. It printed perfectly, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, I've been printing ever since, and I've been absolutely loving it. And Bambu has their Maker World platform, which is where people can post their models and kind of share all their cool creations. And there's so many cool things you can print. This is a cool tank I printed recently, but it's cool because it has a spring here, and then, sorry if I'm not getting this on camera here, you have ammo here, so you can put ammo in the barrel and basically shoot it out, which is really cool. Another thing I've really gotten into is actually making my own models. And especially with the multicolor capabilities that the A1 has, you can make really cool stuff. I recently made this coffee coaster, which has multiple colors. That's just something that wasn't an option with my previous printers. I've also made some Christmas coasters, which are pretty cool. And yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff I'm making too. Also, there's with 3D printing, there's a bunch of different types of material you can use. So this is Bambu's wood PLA, which is really cool. So there's wood particles infused in the PLA. If you smell it, it smells like wood, which is really cool. But yeah, so that's my story of me getting into printing. I think part of why I still print today is I really love Bambu's platform. Its reliability. It's one of those machines that you get it and it works. It works 99% of the time. If you do have an issue, you can usually figure out how to fix it on Reddit pretty quick, or like Bambu's wiki page. Another reason I print and continue to print is it allows you to create stuff, and the machine allows you to make things that you couldn't otherwise make without a printer. Like this is one of Bambu's mouse kits. If I didn't have a printer, how the heck would I make this? And I think the answer is you probably wouldn't. So yeah, so that's my story. I think I'll do some other videos sharing some of the different creations and things I've made. But for any of you who are thinking about maybe getting a printer or maybe Bambu printer, I really encourage you to. I took the plunge. I didn't regret it, and this is coming from a guy who had 2 bad experiences prior to Bambu, so I was definitely very hesitant and skeptical. But yeah, so that's my story. Thanks for watching and have a good one.